who's got Diggs mid laner, who's just grabbed first place.
Yes, they have grabbed first place. I'm joined by Shifter of Team Dignitas after their victory over Team Solo Mid. Very hard fought. You guys have so much adrenaline going through you right now, so I'll make it short so you can go celebrate with the team. What was the feeling like going into the game? You had just made a roster change. What was the team thinking?
We're feeling pretty comfortable because Helios is Korean and we have 2 Koreans on our team. So I think the team chemistry was there. Me and Helios, we do it a lot in the past, so it didn't take long to really mesh together, so it felt pretty good.
And not showing any fear and leaving up the echo, Bjergsen able to grab that. Is the choice of Kog'Maw something you've played before, or just the matchup you felt for the day?
I played a lot of Kog'Maw before, and I think just in general, Kog'Maw is really good against Echo because a later game, he can pretty much never catch you because his Kog'Maw's R just outranges Echo's W, which is his main catching tool. So overall, I think just if we got the late game, then I would pretty much never die.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about final question. What, Dig has on the outlook from now? You just switched up to jungler. Where do you guys look to go from here, and how much do you think that strengthens the team?
Anything's better than going back to relegation, so we're definitely gunning for a playoff spot and, hopefully go to Worlds.
All right, Shifter, congratulations on the win, man. Best of luck to Dignitas in the rest of the season. We're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to break down that crazy game.
Thank you, Riv. Crazy it was. And Zyrene, I got to take it back to the beginning of the day. Pretender or contender, does the result of this game change your outlook on this Dignitas team?
Honestly, not really. I know that maybe I'm a little against them or something, but at the same time, I felt like TSM played a very bad game right off the get-go. I felt like they brought out a lot of new things and were experimenting, and you could see even losing with a gold deficit there, misplays across the board like Bjergsen not using Zhonya as their ultimate in the last fight was huge for them. So I feel like Dignitas got handed a lot of things. You could see during the game, they're falling behind in wave control and wave manipulation. They're losing a whole bunch of CS. They're not getting turrets, and it's just one play, and Jat said it during the final call, you can control the game for 40 minutes, but if you throw it at a team fight like that, it doesn't account for anything.
But would you really consider what TSM did controlling the game? We watched multiple times as Dignitas made, proper trades when it came to global objectives, taking the Baron, giving up 1 dragon.
That's something I will give them, some credit for, is bringing Helios on. It seems like the shot calling is more objective oriented towards neutral objectives. Like, let's go for the Baron, let's play around these power spikes. And with the Kog'Maw, with this composition that you have for Team Dignitas, it's counter engage and catching people out, right? So you want to be able to pick people, you want to be able to counter engage. If you get to the objective first, they come to you, you get the perfect counter engage scenario. So when you go for a Baron with this composition, it's the right thing to do, and I love that they played into that. So it was good for them to realize that that's the strength of the comp, even when behind, and it was really their ticket back into the game, so it didn't get that much further ahead of them.
Yeah, because I would agree with you that there were a couple of factors or a couple of things, misplays by TSM, that allowed Dignitas certain opportunities. For example, the dive in the mid lane that netted Kog'Maw a very early kill, allowing him to power up, much sooner than he normally would. However, I will contest, on my end, that I do think that this Dignitas is proving to be a contender here in the LCS, and I think it's mostly evidenced in, one, the rotational play and the shot calling, bringing in Helios.
Rotational play, no. Shot calling on objectives, yes. Rotational play, they gave up turrets over and over again. They weren't picking up minion waves. They were relying on team fights and picking up Barons that TSM were giving to them because of lack of vision control.
Well, they're making the choice to rotate up to a Baron and give away a dragon, right? So that's a trade-off that they're choosing to make. And so in that, I do believe that when we look at the results of the team fights, and as you mentioned, they did correctly identify the goal of their composition, which was to kite back. And I think that's what's interesting, is that you watch these team fights and you might come out of it saying, oh, that looked like it came out pretty even. But every single time, Dignitas was actually the team that was able to take something off of the back end of that team fight. Right? You look at the extended one down by the dragon. After all of that was said and done, TSM was too low to do much of anything afterwards.
Yeah, they capitalized with the Baron, and I really like those types of plays where they're able to capitalize with that. But having to rely on your team fight and the misplays of another team is not a great way to play League of Legends.
I don't think they were relying on misplays. This is my point. They were making active decisions to move to the Baron.
Yeah,
right.
You say, let's go do Baron, of course.
And so and beyond that,
the misplay is that they don't
meet them there. Relying on misplays is one thing. Relying on misplays is one thing. Capitalizing on misplays is another.
Yes.
And so, to go into to analyze the game from the perspective of this team was relying on the other team to make mistakes. Obviously, I agree with you. That's incorrect. No team should walk into a game saying our game plan today is for TSM to not play well.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't work. However, when the opportunities or when the misplays did present themselves, for example, in the mid lane, Kog'Maw picking up a kill, in TSM going for the dragon without the Bard ultimate in order to hold off on, you know, the Baron attempt, slow it down, they were able to make the proper decisions in those areas. And I think they have to be extended credit for those plays. I do want to actually move into, though, quickly our replay of the final fight, because
you want to move into some misplays
because it does. Well, because it does come down to what you said, which is that we saw this game end abruptly.
Yeah.
But again, I do believe that there's a cap. Maybe I'm of the opinion that the credit should be given to the team that recognizes the mispositioning of TSM and capitalizes on it.
Yeah,
right?
Echo's all the way on top. He's trying to split push. You have a Sivir, and I said this is a team composition that wants to kite backwards. But in this scenario, when you see this opportunity, you still have an option. You still have an ability to actually close this gap. So they're going to pop the Sivir ulti. They're going to go straight towards the gut of this fight. And then the way that TSM approaches this fight just seems with a lot of hubris. As we roll the clip out, you're going to see they feel like they're more powerful. And Wild Turtle goes off to the side here. He doesn't follow his team. He doesn't have Santorin pop his ultimate to disengage them. The team is completely all over the place, and Bjergsen jumps in, boom, right there. Off the field, has ulti, has Zhonya's, doesn't pop either of them, and then Dyrus continues to jump in, trying to reconcile the fight, trying to at least get something back, and then it ends up being a 3-for-1. It could have been a 2-for-0, but at the start of that fight, it could have been a disengaged fight.
Yeah, yes. Possibly. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, there was a black shield that was blown on Morgana. Only Morgana at that point. If you're able to throw your cast back, you'll break the black shield, you'll pop Rek'Sai back, then you body slam into the broken black shield, the Morgana, and you just stop that engage. You have the TP coming in. That gives enough time for Bjergsen. Wild Turtle kited up towards Bjergsen. Everybody else kited down. If they all went up towards Bjergsen, or they all went down, it would have been a better team fight, like hands down. But the fact that Dignitas did start the fight, you can give them credit for that because they had the Sivir ultimate, they popped it, they saw the misposition. I give them credit for that they're capitalizing on misplays and mispositioning. I totally give them that, but I want to see more from Dig. I definitely want to see more from them.
Well, yeah, I absolutely want to see more.
I want to see a gold lead. I want to see a gold lead manifest from turret taking.
I hear you there, absolutely.
Before I actually give
regardless, though, it was a
opinion
fantastic win for Dignitas. They needed that victory to push themselves into their #1 slot. Now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll open up the LCS mailbag. Then it's back into the action with Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Don't go anywhere.
Just feel the vibe, guys. Feel the vibes, okay? Okay. And you can do it.
Okay.
I believe.
A lot of damage. Wild Turtle could die to the Ignite, but he almost kills Kiwi Kid. But Core JJ will get it instead.
Watching chicken. Hekarim. Gragas. Nice. Turbo.
He's going to look for Shifter. The damage comes through. He gets the shutdown. Will they get any more?
Kite first. I'm on Kiwi.
I'm really low.
I got bubble.
I can chase.
Nice.
I can chase.
I'm a kid. I'm core. Sivir.
They're on me.
I threw a bubble.
I can back in TP.
Is going to get picked off by Core JJ, but here comes Bjergsen. Wow! Bjergsen evaporates. Can't pop anything. That's going to be the game, and Team Dignitas are in #1.